Hi, I'm Sarah Ploughs. I've been a driving instructor for 4 years now, and I've run my own business for the last 3 years. I found the driving experience very comfortable. I didn't quite know what to expect when I first started because I just Googled driving instructors, and it just came up on the website as looking, you know, the one to go for. Really friendly face. But the part one is just your theory, so that's just basically down to you, really, with a few little inputs from John. The part two, the driving test, was a lot harder than I thought. I didn't realise I'd picked up so many bad habits before starting, and that did take a few months to iron some of those out. The part three, which is the test of instructional ability, was definitely the hardest because you've got nothing to compare it to. It was something completely different, and you having to take the role of the instructor and John was the pupil did bring a few laughs, but it's totally different to actually doing it yourself. So John was gradually trying to he was making faults, and obviously I was trying to pick them up, which was very slow to start with because you're sort of trying to look too hard sometimes at what's happening and you couldn't really see what's happening in front of your eyes. But John went through it very, very slowly, very methodically, very professionally, and we just took one stage at a time and had a few laughs on the way. And we did finally get there. I must admit, I felt like at one stage I was taking 2 steps back and 1 step forward. But I'm pleased I didn't give up because I did get there in the end, and through John's help and advice and patience as well. It was a nice result at the end, but only really through his professionalism and teaching me what I needed to know, really, because it was, again, the test was role play, which is always very difficult because the examiner is still the examiner, but he's playing the role of a difficult pupil, so you have to sort of control that situation, which I did find very difficult to start with, but you do get used to it the more you do it. So really, yeah, I can't praise John enough really for the type of instructor he is and the way he will explain things in great detail over and over again if you're just really not understanding it, so he has got a lot of patience. And it came to a point where I was thinking, I should be getting this. It's not rocket science. I remember John saying, you know, it's not rocket science, but until you actually do it with a real life pupil, the same thing, and they do make the same mistakes, then, you know, you've got nothing really to compare it to. But it's just getting over that first hurdle, really, of the role play and doing what you need to do to be able to pass that part 3, which I did eventually. So that was it, really. I found the training to be quite challenging, but certainly each stage I progressed, I was a little bit more confident each time. Yes, the last part of the training of instructional ability was the hardest, but certainly doable with John's experience, guidance and patience. Successful, challenging, and definitely professional. Oh, the training was excellent. If they wanted to train with Denovo, I would definitely advise them to, because the training is very professional. I have spoken with other instructors who've had different driver trainers, and their experience really has been appalling, and they've had multiple failures until they found somebody who is professional like John, cares about what he does, and really wants you to do well and be successful. I would recommend John above anybody else, as he does go above and beyond what's expected. Even after I passed, he helped me immensely, making the transition to becoming self-employed. And even if I had a problem, even after 2 years after I'd passed, I could always go to John and he would always help me. which puts him far above anybody else I could recommend. I was coming up for my standards check, and I wanted John to sit in the back on one of my lessons, as that's what the examiner would be doing, to assess how I was teaching. So he did that, and he did give me lots and lots of guidelines. I did need to improve things, or change things slightly, not make it quite so complicated as I was doing on the lesson. And we had 2 or 3 sessions, I think it was, and then I took my standards check and I actually got a grade A, so I was very pleased with John's input, because that wouldn't have happened without John.